Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, their missing daughter,
she drove off with a stranger,
is found.
This man did horrible things to her.
But what made her run away?
One of the reasons she gave was the loss of her stepfather.
I didn't know that she felt that way.
I am not a fall for that man's suicide.
Hang on. Why don't you listen for a minute before you get up on your hind legs?
I didn't think I'd have to come on here and defend myself. Thank you very much. We're done.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you. Yesterday, I sat down with a 15-year-old teenage girl who disappeared one night after telling her mom she was going out to walk her dog. Her family, shocked and in disbelief, immediately contacted the police, and soon a community manhunt just took off, lasting weeks until she was found. Police initially believed the teen was a runaway, although they now believe she was taken hundreds of miles across state lines from her home in Brooklyn, Ohio, and allegedly held against her will in the home of a 41-year-old man outside of St. Louis, Missouri. While we were in the field with the parents taping our show, FBI agents received a break in the case and were able to arrest the alleged perpetrator and reunite the teen with her family, just days before she appeared at the studio.
Good afternoon.
The teen's biological father, Russell, biological mother, Linda, and Linda's fiance, Britt, listened when I sat down to talk to the 15-year-old. Now, this was the first time she spoke out publicly since being rescued by law enforcement, and it was the first time her parents heard about what she says happened during the entire frightening experience.
He's been missing for more than a week.
Her mom says she was known to check in every half hour when she'd leave home.
The night that she disappeared was the worst night of my life. She took our dog outside and she just vanished.
That Brooklyn teen who had been missing for almost a month, she has been found in Missouri.
They say she was being held against her will by a 41-year-old man. Christopher Schroeder faces federal child exploitation charges.
When I was told that Alexis was found, 1,000 pounds was lifted off of my chest.
Now, before talking to Linda and Britt, I felt it was important to hear from Linda's 15-year-old daughter first. There's some indication that you weren't real happy at home.
I've been going through a lot in the past 2 years. My mom meeting her fiance and them getting together, and then we moved in with him. My stepfather passed away, and then in May, my ex-boyfriend was killed.
Who is that?
He is Britt's son.
Is there a point that he crossed the line of being too close?
Yeah.
He had relations with you?
Yeah.
How many times?
Around 10.
Did you ever tell anyone this?
No.
Were you running away from all of this?
I wanted to start.
So you start talking to people on the internet. You started talking to this person that you met?
Yes.
Did you arrange to meet him that night?
Yes.
What was going through your mind as you were walking to the car?
I was kind of scared that I'd end up gone for like a long time, but there's like a part of me that like told me to keep going.
So you got in the car and he drives away.
I was thinking pretty much that I had no chance of ever going back home.
At this point, did you decide you were being abducted?
Yeah.
And when you got to your final destination, what did you do?
We went in the bedroom and I was going to go to sleep. but he told me that I couldn't sleep with my clothes on. I was trying to stay away from him, and he grabbed my side and he pulled me closer to him.
And was that night the first time that he took advantage of you?
Yes.
Okay, and that happened repeatedly across the time you were there. Did you think he might kill you?
Yes.
I want you to understand that there is an adult in this world that does hear you. You made a bad decision, and by the grace of God, you've escaped that situation and you're out of it. But now you're going to get dropped right back in the situation you were in that made you want to leave before. Are you glad we had this talk?
Yes. I feel like somebody actually understands.
Okay, first off, let me say to both of you, thank God that we're here talking about this young girl alive and back home. Because I can't tell you how many of these I've done where that was not the outcome. You have listened to a large part of my conversation with her. Let me ask what your reactions are, what your thoughts are.
That she was hurt so badly. I mean, not just physically, but mentally. And she needs to understand that we all love her no matter what. I mean, which she knows that.
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised at what happened to her once she walked out that door and made the decision to get in that car?
Yes. Yes, I'm very surprised. I was surprised that she would even get in a car with anybody. She's afraid of the dark.
She got in that car and she drove off with a stranger. How did this happen? You've got to look at this from a mom standpoint and say, how did she get so alienated, so distanced and marginalized from the family that she thought her only choice was to walk out a door in the dead of winter, in the dead of night, and get in a car with somebody she never met to get away?
And I don't understand that. I mean, she's been in counseling for 2 years. I don't have an answer for that.
Did she talk to you about it, Britt?
Yeah, and let me back up a little bit. When the man that raised her killed himself, immediately her and my daughter were best friends, and that's how we all got to know each other. The man killed himself. I immediately stepped into the family and we brought in and pulled him out of that house. I couldn't but go back to the house, right, because it was very tragic. So pulled him into my one-bedroom apartment with everybody and immediately set them up with counseling. And then, of course, the young man got killed. It was a boyfriend. And then we went into another phase of counseling, and that's what we have now. All of this came by such a surprise because everything appeared to be okay.
Well, and listen, I'm certainly not suggesting that the counselor was not productive. Right. I mean, who knows what would have happened had she not been with the counselor. We don't know. I also spoke to Linda's daughter about what could have possibly driven her to run away, to leave her home. I found her answers very telling. Now, one of the reasons she gave was the loss of her stepfather, which Britt just referred to. Let's hear what she told me. I want you to hear what she told me. I can't do it alone. There's some indication in the record of all of this that you weren't real happy at home. And that you'd said you weren't real happy at home. Is that true?
Like, I've been going through a lot in the past 2 years. So, like, I'm overwhelmed with everything.
Your stepfather, he had been in your life for how long?
Since I was 2.
Was he a father to you?
Yes.
Was that who you thought of as dad?
Yeah, that's who I grew up knowing as my dad.
He died how long ago?
2 years now.
And how did he die?
He overdosed.
And was it intentional?
Yeah.
So he committed suicide?
Yes.
How did that affect you when you found out he had taken his own life?
I had felt like it had been my fault, in a way.
And how so?
Like, just with all the stress and everything, like, because when we moved from Texas to here, to Ohio, everything kind of just went down for him. Like, he couldn't find a job or anything, and he was so built up with stress. And with my younger brother and I, we just we should have behaved better and stuff like that.
You felt like you weren't understanding enough and supportive enough, and could have been better kids, made it easier. So you thought you just added to the stress and pressure, and if maybe you'd have been better, maybe he wouldn't have felt like he needed to do that.
And when the cells stop multiplying, the organs start shutting down.
What do you think as you hear her say that?
Dad, I'm really sorry that she felt that way. And I didn't know that she felt that way. And none of that was her fault.
Well, of course not. But, you know, I've always said that children have this unique ability to figure out why things in life that go badly are their fault. And she's certainly done that here.
I thought that, you know, her and I had worked through it. And I guess I was wrong.
Britt and Linda will hear a lot more about why Linda's teenage daughter said she needed to escape from her family next.
Hold on a second. I'm not going to be attacked. This man came and took my daughter away from my home and did horrible things to her. I didn't think I'd have to come under and defend myself.
And later,
I never got a fair shot of being a father. I got another big obstacle I got to conquer. I'm tired of it.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Wild accusations from their daughter.
Allie was telling people that I shoved her downstairs, that I beat a kid to death.
That I killed her cousin in a car wreck.
So what happened?
You touched a family friend on the butt.
I have many times. The pat on the butt, but never a squeeze.
That landed both parents behind bars.
You were accused of...
I did not do that, no.
If you didn't do it, why were you put in jail?
All new Dr. Phil. That's tomorrow.
An apparent data breach at Time Warner Cable involving hundreds of thousands of customers. CBS 13's I-Team investigates what information was stolen and what the company is doing to fix it. Plus, Charlie's tracking the next round of weather, how long the sunshine will stick around, and when we'll see the next wintry mix. Tonight on CBS 13, live at 5.
We're back with Linda and her fiance, Britt, who are both beyond relieved and thankful to have Linda's 15-year-old daughter back home with them. That said, they are now just coming to terms with hearing why this teen claims she wanted to leave her home in the first place. How soon did her boyfriend move in after that?
We moved in with him a few days after.
A few days after the suicide? Wow. So quickly. Did that seem odd to you?
It felt like it was too fast.
Like, did it make you think maybe that relationship was already ongoing?
Yeah.
Did you think maybe she had a relationship with him while she was...
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her about that?
No.
Did you ever say, you know, were you cheating on Dad, and did he know it?
No, I did not.
But you thought that in your mind?
Yes.
Wow, that's an awful lot to deal with on your own.
Very good carrier.
Hold on a second. They weren't together. They were still staying together. They weren't together. I have done everything for this family. When he died, I brought them in. My daughter sacrificed her own room for the rest of his family to come into my home. I thought this was supposed to be about the search and bring her home. I have spent 20 hours a day. I am racked. I have not slept yet since she left. I have spent 20 hours a day looking for this girl. I have every resource I have. It's become one of the largest searches there is because I did not stop. I pulled every tool out of the bag. I learned a bunch of tools in finding her. When he died, when he killed himself, I brought them into my home. And then, like I said, I got them counseling. I've done everything I possibly can. I am not a psychiatrist. This man came and took my daughter away from my home and did horrible things to her.
We're gonna have so much fun.
But we did not stop searching for her. We put aside everything we did, and she's here now because of all of our efforts. So if this is going to be about going back and blaming me for suicide, we'll just end this now, Dr. Phil. I am not at fault for that man's suicide. I didn't think I'd have to come on here to defend myself. We came to you for treatment now. But I'm not going to be attacked.
Didn't I just hear you say, I'm not a psychiatrist?
Sure.
Okay, so you're not a mental health professional?
Not at all.
Well, I am. So
that's why I'm here.
Okay, well, then, why don't you listen for a minute before you get up on your hind legs?
I haven't slept in a month.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah, okay. Well, then lean back and rest a minute, and let me tell you what I'm saying here. You got a 15-year-old girl that perhaps for the first time
For years now, I've been researching a cure.
yes, is giving her feelings a voice.
And that's great.
There's always something
And if those feelings, however misguided they may be, step on your toes and need to be clarified, it seems to me that's a small price to pay to give her a chance at a new lease on her young life.
Oh, I agree.
So it seems to me that if she's accusing you in her mind, or accusing you as a couple in her mind of being inappropriate or untimely or in some way bothersome to her, she is entitled to those feelings. She can own those feelings, whether they're right or wrong, just like she's blaming herself for his death. Is that right? No. Her feelings about this may not be right either, but she's entitled to them, and the first time she finds the courage to give a voice to it, you bow up and say, everybody pack up, we're leaving?
No,
what the hell kind of response is that?
That's not, does that have to be nationally aired? Is that what the story's about?
It seems to me that you've already clarified this. You said whenever he took his own life, that you stepped up and said, they can't go back to that home.
Yes.
So I provided them an alternative.
Yes.
Enough said.
But the principle is the same. Stem cells
She, on the other hand, at 15, is struggling with this.
I understand.
So that goes on our to-do list.
Sure.
And if you can take all of that same passion,
lose everything, and I will take the hit.
and after you get some much-deserved rest,
any of your knowledge.
Seriously.
Yes.
Can put that same passion in working towards that to-do list, then perhaps she's won the family lottery.
As long as Hayden's still alive, I'll take either one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're done. And you have enough of the story.
And later, you and Britt don't get along.
I have to come to his castle, his kingdom to see my daughter. He's a controlling man.
I'm here with Britt and his fiancée, Linda, who have just found out some of the reasons why Linda's daughter claims she wanted to leave their home, including her belief that her mother's relationship with Britt was too soon after her stepfather passed away. How long after your stepfather took his own life was your boyfriend killed?
It was this past May.
Okay, so that would have been about a year and a half later?
Yeah.
He's not allowed to treat me.
Okay, and how long had y'all been dating?
We had been dating for 10 months.
Trust me.
Oh, so you've been in a relationship for a while, 10 months.
Yeah.
Were y'all serious?
Yes.
Were you in love with him?
Yeah.
So he was important to you?
Yes.
And he loved you?
Yeah.
So this was an exclusive relationship?
Yeah.
Tell me how he died.
His cousin shot him in the right side of his face with a 22-gauge shotgun.
Did he say it was an accident?
He said it was an accident and his finger had slipped off the safety.
Was he killed instantly?
They had him hooked up to a bunch of machines to see if he would recover somehow, but never
They
happened.
had him on life support?
Yeah, that's it.
That had to be terrible to see him in that condition. You know, 15, I don't know what you say to yourself about something like that.
And he was one of the sweetest kids I had ever met in my entire life. He was a good kid.
Has she talked much about how she felt about this?
She tries to protect me from everything. She doesn't want to hurt my feelings. She doesn't like to see me cry. It's just who she is. She's a protector. She protects her brother. She protects me. She protects him. I mean, he was upset last night and she was worried about his blood pressure going up. I mean, that's just who she is.
But you know, my point with her was, if her perceptual mass is such, if you take all of her perceptions, you see why I said this thing for y'all is like not in the top 10. If her perceptual mass is such that she felt that it was a logical alternative to walk out of the house at night and get in a car with a stranger, she was feeling like I had to escape something really overwhelming in my life. And it's not one thing, it's the accumulation of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that she's coming back in her mind to the same set of circumstances.
And I do understand that.
So something, she's got to feel like something is going to change. There's going to be some major change agent in here that alters this. The biological father, Russell, is here. He hasn't even seen his daughter yet. His ex, Linda, and her fiance, Britt, both claim he's just a deadbeat dad to their 15-year-old daughter.
When my daughter went missing, I felt broken, torn, helpless.
Russell's a deadbeat dad. Russell has never shown interest in being a father to my daughter. Russell lives 10 minutes from my house, and getting him to even come pick her up and see her is like pulling teeth.
Now I really want to do more for my daughter because I think that she's been in danger inside that household with Britt and Linda. Britt is bad news. I don't like Britt at all.
When it comes to Russell, there's always some kind of drama.
Personally, I think Britt has something to do with my daughter's disappearance. Something's not right in that house. If my daughter ran away, it was likely she felt afraid of Britt. I want my daughter out of their house and to move in with me.
My daughter told me the night that she was found that she never wants to see Russell again.
I plan to get full custody of my daughter. I'm going to file for emergency custody.
I would really like Russell to leave my family alone.
Nothing to do with any of this, man. And I'm not, no. He wouldn't come to my house and join the search. He wouldn't, no. They have.
Okay, but now, okay, let me tell y'all something, and you can leave if you want to leave, but leave with this knowledge in mind, okay? No,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay,
We're done.
and
Thank you very much.
You're still buttoned up.
I know,
there.
I know. Thank you very much. You have enough of the story. We'll go somewhere else and they'll hear the rest of the story. Thank you so much.
Even though Linda and Britt just walked off the stage, the show will still go on because it's not about them. It's about helping Linda's 15-year-old daughter. I will speak to the biological father of this teen girl next. Closed captioning provided by...
Would you like to win the Publishers Clearinghouse $5,000 a week forever prize? $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. Enter at PCH.com on February 26th. Win forever.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Listen, you had your fun.
Having my child disappear. As a mother, I honestly felt like part of my soul was being slowly sucked from my body. I knew in my mind I was never going to give up, ever. That is my little girl, and I would fight the rest of my life to find her. I and my entire community were determined to bring her home safe, and she is safe. To have my daughter home and in my arm again feels like an absolute miracle.
Now, the missing teen's father, Russell, says he was also involved in the search as he was determined to find his daughter. Well, Russell, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My intention was to have an adult conversation between all of y'all to talk about what is in the best interest of your daughter at this point, to go forward and try and help heal some of the wounds that have been created across time. But Linda and her fiance, Brett, as you just saw, decided to leave when you were coming out. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about your daughter.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on her being found alive. And I won't say well, because she's certainly been through a lot, but congratulations on her being found. How did you feel when you found out she had been found alive?
Shock. She was gone for 23 days, you know, and you don't know where to start, you know. And she's a very scarred girl, and it's been tough.
I'm sorry. And I assume you and Britt don't get along?
I'm here. He's a controlling man. And that's the easiest term, the simplest term I could say. He's a controlling man. I have to come to his castle, his kingdom to see my daughter. I got to come through him, come talk to his face. I'm gonna let the court system is to handle that.
And you feel like you need to move to get full custody here for what reason?
Because my daughter came to me a couple times saying that things weren't right in the house. She's in a lot better care in my household. Britt's son or whatever was having, or she was sexually assaulted. I just found that out the other day.
Well, here's Russell's daughter talking about her relationship with Britt's son. Who is Zach?
He is Britt's son.
Tell me about your relationship with him.
At first, I was really cautious because I had never met him. And gradually, we became closer. Like, I told him about my dad, like what had happened. And we were close.
At the time, you were 14?
14, 15.
And he was 21, 22? And you say you were close. Is there a point that he crossed the line of being too close?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
We were just sitting there because our parents had gone out. And then, like, we were very open with each other. Like, we talk about everything. And he had asked me, like, questions, like sexual questions. And then it was just gradual after that.
Did it go to the point that he had relations with you?
Yeah.
Did this happen on more than one occasion?
Yes.
How many times would you say across the 4 or 5 month period that he lived there?
Around 10.
Did you ever tell anyone this? Well, I'm sorry that you have to hear that, but I'm glad for you to know it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know it, you can't deal with it.
I never got a fair shot of being a father. That's what I want to make known. I got another big obstacle I got to conquer. I'm tired of it.
We reached out to Britt's son, Zach, for a statement, and this is what he had to say. My father is Britt. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good relationship with my dad. I was close to Linda and her daughter. I lived with them at one point earlier this year. Linda's daughter and I were friends, and we had a sexual relationship that was consensual. Her parents did not know we were having sex. It is a 100% lie that I pushed any sex on Linda's daughter. I never pushed sex or sexual conversation on Linda's daughter. I never raped her at all. We had sex maybe 4 to 5 times, not 10 times. The police did question me about Linda's daughter's disappearance and my relationship with her. The detectives did say they were concerned about the age difference between us. I don't know what is going to happen or if they will talk to me again. Even though Zach says he is not guilty of raping Linda's 15-year-old daughter, based upon his statement to us, Zach actually seems to have violated Ohio Criminal Code 2907.04, unlawful sexual contact with a minor, which is a 4th-degree felony which can result in prison time between 6 and 18 months with a fine of up to $5,000. You're concerned with a failure to protect inside the home. Is that your concern, that your daughter's just not being protected inside the home? And later,
Sorry, I didn't mean to freak out on you.
It's okay.
You don't understand what that little girl means to me.
Yes, I do.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Their daughter claims
that I shoved her downstairs,
That I killed her cousin in a car wreck.
I don't know why I...
You understand that they could wind up going to prison?
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
I know every cat parent says it, but Lily really is the best cat ever. So we feed her the best. Blue Buffalo. When you love them like family, you want to feed them like family.
For 1 month, a massive search was held for a missing 15-year-old girl. Private investigator Rob Slattery helped track the whereabouts of the missing 15-year-old teen who was taken across state lines from Ohio to the Missouri home of a 41-year-old man that she reportedly met online. Take a look.
My name is Rob Slattery. I'm a licensed private investigator. I volunteered my time pro bono, along with my partner Michelle Rivera, to investigate the disappearance of the 15-year-old. The clue we discovered was a message from a Facebook account that was sent from that home. We turned it over to local authorities, and they were able to track the IP address to the home in Missouri. With that information, they were able to rescue the girl and make an arrest on the alleged sex offender. Without today's technology, she may have never been located, and it could have been the difference between life and death. Knowing this girl's home and safe is just overwhelming. It's probably the most important case I've ever worked on.
Rob, thank you for being here. And I have to tell you, you and Michelle, congratulations and thank you for just a job amazingly well done. That's got to be, it's got to be one of those days where you go home and feel good about working long and hard hours. So tell me how this worked. You actually tracked this back to an IP address, right?
These fake Facebook pages kept popping up, and we were able to connect friends on the same pages, and then there was some messages back and forth to the friend, kind of feeling her out to see if she wanted to come out there as well. And we immediately went to the local authorities and the FBI. They were able to track it back through the IP.
Yeah, but that's just that's amazing work, and he just overreached and got caught in that regard. You're concerned with a failure to protect inside the home. Is that your concern, that your daughter's just not being protected inside the home?
Yeah. I think it's a toxic environment, and that's the only two words I can come up with.
Here's the teen talking about how she feels about her biological dad, Russell. Do you have a problem with your biological father?
No.
Do you hate him?
No, I don't.
It seems like there's tension among the adults, but it seems like he genuinely cares about you.
The only thing I have a problem with him is he doesn't put effort in to see me. When we make plans, he'll cancel them 5 minutes before he's supposed to come pick me up. The only time I see him is about once a year.
So he needs to do a better job at that. But if he does a better job about that, you would want to nurture that relationship.